The National Stock Exchange of India has been actively involved with initiatives to educate the young generation of our country on the importance of financial management. One such initiative is NSE FUnancial that focuses on educating and advising the young workforce of the country on wealth management to enhance financial literacy and to empower them.
Insurance is for protection and investment is for growth.
Another program facilitated by NSE IPFT is NSE FUNancial Quest. This inter-school financial quiz contest goes an extra mile by educating the young students on fundamentals of finance.
On the buzzer, what is this? It's the formula for the simple interest.
Simple interest is the right answer.
Under the NSE FUNancial Quest Base Camps banner, the program engages students around the year through workshops on various topics, projects, interactive videos and quizzes.
DiCaprio is bouncing checks of Pan Am.
Plus 75 on that one. Plus 75.
To facilitate these two programs, NSE along with CNBC TV18 has travelled across the country to bridge the wide knowledge gap in terms of financing. In this episode of NSE FQ, we are all set to achieve our objective once again by gauging young minds in a new city.
Hello and a warm welcome to each and every one of you. You're with me, Big Brain, here today on CNBC TV 18. It's the big moment. The moment perhaps every school in India that takes part in this fascinating journey waits for. The national final of NSE's FUNancial Quest, Season 6. In this quest, having travelled 15 cities this year, we're down to the final 3. Outstanding teams have taken part, more than anyone would expect would be the caliber of the teams that we've seen right across. Today, the best 3 will interface for the coveted title as champions of this season. From here, one of you will prevail. The remaining 2, of course, great national finalists. Not easy to be in a national final, so all of you are champions in my view. As we get started, time to ring the opening bell. Here it comes. All questions appearing on your screen. Pay attention, hands on that buzzer, and that's going to be ever so crucial. We pick the first one. The value coming up is that of a bear. So you get a 75 to start this game. If you're ready, here's your question. FMA is a very commonly used term in the modern world, especially with startups. It's of very high importance while you value a company to figure out what is their chance of success. It's called FMA. It's a type of advantage that you have. All right, the answer comes from me and none of them want to exercise a risk on this question. The answer on FMA is first mover advantage. Well, if one of you had got that right, you certainly would have had the first mover advantage in this quiz. I could not have had a better first question. The second one is a bull. The value is 100, and on your screen is your question now. The banking giant, or the financial giant, JP Morgan Chase, hands out prepaid debit cards exclusively targeted at a specific group called release cards. Who are the people who get these cards? No one on the buzzer? Oh my God, I tell you what. First 2 questions, simple, workable questions. If you're not going to try these, trust me, you're not going to answer anything in the national final. This is how it's going to be. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you live in a completely different world where everyone is a target customer, including this one for JP Morgan Chase. Release cards are those that are handed out to prisoners who are released from jail. JP Morgan Chase has created prepaid debit cards for them saying, here's your chance. We empower you with money. You're out of prison. Start a new life. Here's the next one. And we're going into a bull on 100 on your buzzer. Here we go. The Siddhi Vinayaka Ganapati temple has a management trust. They've tied up with SBI Cap Securities to accept donations from devotees in what peculiar manner? On the buzzer, Gopal are going for it. Jawaharlal Nehru School. You're playing for a
Base value.
base value, so you're not making any investments. Go on.
Prasad. In form of laddus or prasad.
You accept donations as laddus?
Yes.
Oh, that would give you a minus 100. Well, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, the temple will now accept stocks in companies as donations. Well, teams have to trust themselves, so you've got to build that ability. Very early days in this quiz, but I tell you what, at the end of the day, there are two things you would have realized watching this first frontier on CNBC TV 18 as we bring this national final to you. On the other side, we're going to have more questions, and I'm sure the teams will blaze away as we move into the second frontier. But all that after this extremely quick break. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Season 6 of the National Stock Exchange's Financial Quest. Three teams battling here: Kolkata, Dehradun and Bhopal, the national final. Early days, well, nothing much to say from the scorecard as yet. One team on minus 100. Here it comes on your screen. As we move on to the second frontier, time for the teams to do a little bit of trading on this rather long segment. Here it comes. Well, you've got a fair number of questions to play around, and that'll give you a fair chance to score. The pattern remains the same. Don't forget the investment options, because that is what is going to give you the advantage in a national final. Here's the first one, and we've got a bear coming up on your screen. Here we go. This is a famous company named after, it's called a list, and it's essentially named after something that always gives you a blessing and is a good thing that is believed to be around you. What from the world of mythology is this list, which essentially is an online platform for startups to raise capital? Most gods have an array of these who bring you good luck. Most investors are described by this word because they come like dash and help you out. They're taking a risk. On Bhopal is the buzzer. And what's the value they're playing? They're playing a bear. Are they going to invest in the bear? Base value, no investment. Go on.
Angel.
Angels. Oh, angels are types of investors. Angel lists help startups. Angels come and give you blessings. Beautiful. Beautifully thought through. They'll make a comeback with that answer. That's the logic behind angel investors, angel investing. And you should have played either a mutual fund at least on that, somewhere in between. But nonetheless, they were on a negative, so they wanted to get back. The bear actually gets them back into this game. As we go to the next one, you got a bull coming up on your screen now. The 5-pound note in plastic in the United Kingdom was involved in what is called the tallow controversy. What is this tallow? It's a product derived from something that people protested against. India has also seen such protests for very different reasons. Plastic 5-pound note, and people said, how can you use such material to create notes? Tallow, it contains tallow. If you know what tallow currency controversy is, you know this one easily. Gopal are giving it a go. Go ahead. Base value, okay. Go on.
Pig's fat or beefs or which is just like the flesh, their flesh.
In currency,
Flesh or skin.
Pig is related to pig.
Pig or beef.
Pig or beef.
oh, like India had its own controversies.
Just in 1857,
The rifles were made of
the Sepoy Mutiny. Rifles were
And
made
similarly, plastic had elements of meat, etc. in it.
that tallow corn.
At a base value for 100 meat in plastic currency in United Kingdom. You think that could remotely be right?
Yes.
You are absolutely right. Oh, lovely quizzing. Fantastic. Anyway, this would be a tough one. As we go to the next one, and we've got a bear coming up for you again. Careful on the answer. It's a teaser. Here we go. Expand CVV as found on credit cards. What does it stand for?
We like to invest in the stock market.
You want to invest in a stock market. That will give you a 20% return if you give it right. Go on.
Card verification value.
Card verification value. Put your hands together for them. They got that right. Here's the next one. Now, this is the difference in the value of money and the cost to produce that money. In other words, it's the economic cost of producing currency within a given economy or a country. What is this good word that I am describing? Kolkata are giving it a go. Is it bullion? Is it seigniorage? You can invest. The value is a bear.
Stock and its seigniorage.
Stock is your investment.
And seigniorage.
Seigniorage is the choice that you are making. You are right. They get that right. Well, I think you're actually scribbling on that. It was a bear, so it's a 75, and you get a 20% on that. As we go to the next one, and it's the final one in this segment on your screens now. Back when it began, this newspaper gave its readers a famous policy statement. Its object is to give fully and fairly the daily news, attending to the fluctuations in prices of stocks, bonds, and classes of commodities. It will aim steadily at being a paper of news and not a paper of opinions. Which great journal, as they called it, is this? And they named it after a famous place in the context of finance and business. Bhopal are giving it a go. Are they going to invest on it? It's a bull value question, which means it's a 100.
Stock market investment.
Stock market investment on a bull. Go ahead.
The Wall Street Journal.
The launch of the Wall Street Journal. Oh, outstanding. Very, very good quizzing. Teams are now beginning to pull out some really remarkable answers. 2 segments of quizzing here, just 1 remaining. And I tell you what, this national final is slowly beginning to grip into a very tense battle. On the other side, I'll tell you why I made that statement. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're with me, Big Brain, here today on CNBC TV 18. And you are watching the national final of NSE's Financial Quest. A fascinating initiative by the National Stock Exchange. 3 superb teams are battling to show their financial knowledge while still at school. 3 teams. Here's the scenario before we go into the final frontier. On your screen, the scores. As we begin the final frontier, it's time for a settlement. Here it comes. On the first one, on settlements, what do we have for you? We have a bear value coming up, and on a bear value, here is your question. This is a credit rating agency that you need to figure out. TransUnion. Oh boy, Dehradun pushed themselves into a situation where they had to hit the buzzer somewhere. On a bear, they've gone for it. Which credit rating agency is owned by TransUnion in India? $75. Go on. Not trying. They just went for the buzzer, I think. Any answer that comes to your mind? -75. You get a negative on Sibyl. We go to the next one. It's a bull, and on a bull, here is your question coming up on your screen. This is an annual courtroom conference of sorts that confirms the standards of newly minted coins. It's called the Trial of Picks. In which country does this happen? All of you agree on a clue. I'll give it to you. A world-famous scientist first gave this idea. He also gave the world gravity. Remember, the answer is a country and not the scientist. You're on a bull. Are you investing?
Base value.
Base value of a bull.
USA.
We'll give you another negative. Isaac Newton was part of the mint of the United Kingdom. Well, team's not really putting their head to it. Otherwise, it was an easy go. As we go to the next one, and we got a stag coming up for a 50-pointer on your screens now. In 1534, during the Portuguese rule, a particular city or place, combination of 7 islands, was leased to Diogo for an annual rent of 537 rupees, payable to the royal treasury in Basian. It's also believed that this place transcended hands as a part of a famous dowry. Which famous city in India are we talking about? Taking this risk, they're either going to win it here or they're playing a risk at stag. Are you investing? No investment, base value 50.
Mumbai.
Mumbai
Yes.
was then known as Bombay. 50 to them on Bombay. Penultimate question, the value is a bull. Here it comes on your screen now. In 2014, when CNBC TV 18 completed 15 years, to mark the occasion, the National Stock Exchange bell was rung from the Mumbai newsroom of CNBC TV 18. Why was this a special moment of ringing the bell? Something that was never done before happened. What happened? The teams are thinking, and I'm giving them a fair moment. Team's not going for it, and well, for the first time in the history, the bell, which was actually ceremoniously rung, actually moved out physically of the National Stock Exchange. It never happens, and it happened only when CNBC turned 15. Well, trust CNBC TV 18, therefore, for our quiz shows and for everything else. As we go to the final question, on that buzzer, you got 100 coming up on your screen. Final question of the 6th season of Financial Quest. This is one of the earliest logos of a family's trust or organization. They are in the news world over currently. Whose family is this? Kolkata have nothing to lose, so they're taking a shot.
Tata Company.
This is the original logo of the Tatas. You figured out it was a T logo and you went for a Tata. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Jawaharlal Nehru School from Bhopal are our national champions. They win this quiz and win a title. A final question, not going the way of Kolkata. Lakshmipat Singhania School taking the shot on the T logo. World Newsmakers 2016 and 17, I said. The answer, ladies and gentlemen, is Donald Trump. You got to back yourselves on it, but anyway, no, don't worry. You are national second. Be happy about it. That's a huge achievement. Come on, put your hands together for them.
The whole idea started about 6 years back. Our idea was to build interest in finance among students. As has been mentioned earlier also, finance is a life skill. All of you, when you grow up, you would be earning and you would want to really invest the earnings and then make more money or make your money work for you. For that, you need to have basic understanding of finance. That's where we thought we should actually start with a program which will build interest into financial markets, finance as a subject. And we have been very, very lucky. In the last 6 years, we have gone to about 28 cities, close to about 135 students have gone through this process. That is really encouraging. The kind of responses which have come over a period was absolutely astounding. We are really, really grateful to Giri and his team for coming out with a theme which is really interesting for people. Thank you very much for being here and enjoy. Thanks a lot.
From me here today, from the studios of CNBC, created at the National Stock Exchange exclusively for this quiz. From me, Big Brain, from my entire team at Grey Caps and all of us at CNBC TV 18, we sincerely hope you enjoyed this season as you did with all the other seasons in the past. Till we come back to you a year from now, from me, Big Brain, from all of us here at CNBC TV 18, you were watching NSE's Financial Quest.
Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.